Sandra Longweaver. Welcome back to Take 10 with the Tennessee Tribune. And we're continuing our conversation with Chancellor Zeppos of Vanderbilt University. We've been discussing diversity, changes on the campus, and what's ahead for Vanderbilt University. I wanted to talk just a little bit more about diversity and some of the more recent changes. And I know you've created an office of, EDI, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. Talk a little bit about what that means and where you see that taking Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I think my goal is, I've told the faculty, the staff, the students, I've kind of shouted from the mountaintop, this is my major priority.
Okay.
And I need help.
All right.
I mean,
so this is the way to create that help.
So I thought, when people said, well, why do you create that office? It's like, why don't I have a chief financial officer? Well, finances, you've got to be an expert. Right. It's complex. Mm-hmm. I said, well, why do you think we're so perfect in diversity? Why do you think we're so perfect in equity? Right. Well, are we perfect in inclusion? This is an area where I need help. I need to learn. I need to grow. I need to change. Right. And if I can bring that to my work, then I can start to see change deeper throughout the organization.
Yes.
And after I did that, I saw diversity officers appointed in Peabody College, in the Trinity School, in the engineering school. So my job a lot of times is I need help.
Right.
It's to you got to be a little bit. You can't be so arrogant and say, well, everything's perfect. I need help, and then I'm going to get help. And then that's going to lead to more conversations, more programs, more changes, and more self-criticism. And then that's going to ripple through the organization.
Right.
And so that was very, very, very important. I tend to be a person of dialogue, reflection, and action.
Okay.
And, I always joke with people, I'm not in the dead winter of my career, but I'm not in the springtime. And so, right. I also work very closely with George Hill, my great colleague and Vice Chancellor, the Provost, Eric Kopstein, my Vice Chancellor of Administration, and it's all hands on deck to make change.
Yes.
And so how do we really move with appointment of people, the recognition of the importance of culture and symbols, the increasing of diversity of our people, but recognizing the minute you become diverse, the work it's not even close to begun, because what does inclusion mean? What does equity mean?
Right.
First generation child on full scholarship coming, do I belong?
Do I belong? And what's next?
What's next?
How do they get to that next level?
Yeah, and so I'm very committed to kind of top to bottom change and really building what we call a beloved community. I'm just committed to taking those steps by appointing people and then putting in programs. We have a program in our biomedical sciences. We graduate more African American PhDs in biomedical sciences than any university in the country.
Is that right? I did not know that.
We graduate in our Fisk Vanderbilt Bridge program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's another program. And people say, oh, women or people of color, they don't go into this field.
Which is
true. Racist.
Right.
It's not true.
It's not true.
Yeah, so we say, well, we're going to train all the, wonderful, diverse women and people of color in physics and astronomy. We produce more than anybody. And we partnered with Fisk, Kelly Bachelman, and Kayvon Stassen. So I want to see real change that's sustainable, where from the bottom up, we're changing who's a professor, who's a college president, who's an editor of a newspaper.
Right.
You've got to focus on these pipeline issues. I told my faculty, and I tell students all the time, I said, we can't all be sitting around at these universities and say, oh, we need to get more diverse, let's just hire each other's people. I mean,
it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, well, it's we want to be diverse and we want to change our culture and the education, but yet who's really investing in people 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, so that when my successors come along, they say, this is beautiful.
Right.
So I'm very focused on the pipeline. Mm-hmm. So we've created a new, I call it kind of a pioneer pipeline project. Mm. There were pioneers who came to Vanderbilt, Perry Wallace, Dorothy Phillips,
okay,
first African-American graduates who went out and did great things. Okay. Who really, did all that I could ask as a chancellor for an alumna.
Right.
Well, she's got
who's
a PhD.
Behind them?
Yeah, who's behind them? Yeah. So we're creating we've actually created a whole new postdoctoral fellowship where we're saying we need to bring in from all around the world underrepresented individuals to come to our university so that we can support them at the first stage of their careers. Right. And then we might hire, if they go to work at Fisk or TSU or Duke or Harvard, I'll be thrilled. I might have lost them. Right. But look at the flowers that are blooming.
And it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. So I think we do a much better job locally. Mm-hmm. When I think of TSU and Glenda, and I think of Forest, American Baptist, and
they were
President
all just
Sims.
Panel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, man, we're all like within 2 miles of each other. Forrest is on my faculty. I love Forrest.
Right.
So I'm now at the point also where I want to build more Vanderbilt Fisk partnerships. Mm-hmm. Vanderbilt Fisk, TSU, American Baptist. Should we have, a center for civil rights, race in Nashville? We have this library collection.
Tie in.
Yeah, and look what Fisk, the Center